decided to do something a little different today. In this video, I will detail the unbelievable story of a man who in the early 80s decided to build a homemade aircraft, I guess you want to call it, out of weather balloons and a patio chair, and then proceeded to reach nearly the heavens before deciding this is no longer a good idea and I would like to go back down to the earth without dying. So the journey begins in the 1960s when Larry Walters was only 13 years old and he visited an Army-Navy surplus store and saw weather balloons on the ceiling. And at that point he decided that he wanted to do something regarding flight. So allegedly he tried to join the Air Force but was denied due to poor eyesight. But that didn't stop Larry. On July 2nd, 1982, with the help of his girlfriend and some other friends, he, after some significant planning, tied 42 helium weather balloons to a Sears lawn chair in San Pedro, California, in the backyard of his girlfriend's house. So helium, which is the second lightest gas known on Earth after hydrogen, generates lift, which is a force component, and the counteraction to this is gravity, which is related to mass and the gravitational force created by the mass of the Earth. So if you have enough of these helium balloons, it will negate the effects of gravity and you will float. Exactly like a party balloon at a kid's party. It floats up to the ceiling. So for Larry, he was originally tethered with two lines to the bumper of a car. One of these lines was intentionally cut, and then the other one supposedly snapped due to the tension force that the helium balloons were trying to climb away, so the line couldn't take it, and it supposedly snapped, and off Larry went at a climb rate of about 1,000 feet per minute, which is incredible considering large passenger jetliners usually go up only at a few thousand feet per minute. So it must have been quite scary to say the least. But Larry was all wise and was prepared for this. He had brought a BB gun so that he could shoot balloons to reduce his lift to eventually come back down to the earth. The chair had water jugs attached to it to act as ballast to keep the chair level in flight so it wouldn't lean to one side. And Larry was also restrained to the chair, allegedly using belts so he could not fall out. He even had a second pair of glasses because his vision was so poor, and he actually dropped his first pair by accident during the panic of the rapid ascent. So Larry was no fool. Larry also had a CB radio that he originally was using to be in contact with his grounds crew, which consisted of his girlfriend and friends. So the first few minutes of this is basically his girlfriend screaming at him quite loudly to come down and ensuring that he's safe. She wants him to continue to talk to her. Eventually, the conversation was picked up by REACT, a monitoring organization, and essentially Larry used them to contact his grounds crew to ensure them that everything was okay. I'm assuming that his CB was out of range to contact his girlfriend at this point because Larry eventually reached an altitude of about 16,000 feet.
CLW 91602, say again your point of departure. My point of departure was 1633 West 7th Street, San Pedro. If you're at 13,000 feet in the air, what airport did you take off from?
He was also in the vicinity of the Long Beach airport, stating that he was seeing planes around him, so the situation became quite dangerous. The conversation also talks about alerting LAX and the airports in the vicinity. Obviously, Larry was concerned. He does not want to cause an accident, nor does he want to be hit by a plane that's taking off or landing. So, eventually, it became quite cold because 16,000 feet is, the air pressure drops, the temperature drops, and he decided to start shooting his balloons to allow himself to slowly descend. He started to descend. Coincidentally, he then dropped his BB gun by accident, but it was okay because he was already descending. And he eventually landed in basically a yard of a house stuck in some power lines. He was not hurt, but unfortunately the authorities, namely the police department, were not too thrilled about his antics, and Larry was in a little bit of trouble once he landed. Fast forward a bit, while the FAA decided what they were going to do with Larry, he eventually was fined $4,000 for his violations. And Larry actually received a little bit of fame. He was actually on the Late Night Show with David Letterman and some other advertising deals and things like that. But unfortunately for Larry, his fame was short-lived and not very profitable. His life sort of spiraled out of control beyond that. He broke up with his girlfriend Carol, and eventually, in 1993, Larry hiked to his favorite spot in the Angeles National Forest, which he commonly visited because he enjoyed the outdoors, and he tragically shot himself in the heart. And that was the end of Larry's story. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share as it helps me out, and I will see you in the next video.